Good morning, Coolest Coast. It's time for Coffee with Kristin and Tina. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Coffee with Kristin and Tina. We're your hosts. This is Tina Prigge. I'm Kristin Odell. Haha, April Fools.
April Fools.
That is like the extent of what I can do for April Fools, I think. How about you? Is that a thing in your house?
I'm just not a prankster. Like, it's not my style. I feel like I don't want to be mean to people, so that's not my thing.
Yeah.
But did you see the Manitowoc Public Libraries?
I did. I love that.
I wasn't online very long today, but friends, if you haven't gone out and looked, the Manitowoc Public Library put a post out today that they took the upper rotunda off the library and they installed a giant crane machine and invited people to come down and play it. It's great.
It is like actually the perfect kind of April Fool's post, right? Because it like gets you kind of excited, but then you're like, this is absolutely not possibly true. But yeah, there's no like hurt feelings about it or anything.
Right. It's very cute. So kudos to them for being having an innovative idea and putting a post out.
I love it. So it's spring break. Your kids are home, right? Are there like extra pranks going on because of that? Are they aware? Is April Fool's Day even a thing amongst the youngest generations?
I don't feel like they have any idea that it's April Fool's today. Maybe it is an older thing. Maybe this is how we like got community and did things together. Cindy's hilarious. So is the Bridge to Michigan post by the city. Ooh, I didn't see that one. Did you?
I did not. Cindy, after the show, I'm definitely going to look it up. Thanks for the tip.
Yeah. Or Cindy, if you can grab a link to it, throw it in the comments for our friends.
Awesome.
Yeah, I don't feel like I just don't feel like in the age of social media and other things that they even have any, like, they're just not doing it. I don't know if they're interacting that way.
You know, I was thinking a lot about that. And in this age of social media, there's so much that's posted that already is a laugh or possibly not true, or like, you know, you have to like really think through every post anyway, that I almost feel like an April Fool's joke might get lost or not have the impact that.
That's a really good point. That is a really good point. You really have to think about like, is this real? Is this truthful information? Like a couple of times you've been like, I've got to look that up somewhere else. I'm not sure that that's true.
Yeah, I won't take anything for fact that I see. And if I think like, oh, this is something I might want to repeat, I will like go out to a different search engine, look it up and see if there's multiple credible sources that say the same thing. And I'm so glad because a few times I found that, yep, that nugget that I just saw is absolutely not truthful.
Yeah. One of my favorite things right now, and by favorite, I mean something I despise and laugh at, is because I am a protein eater and I'm still training, these posts come up all the time for high protein recipes. And then when you click in, there's like high protein clubs. And then when you click into the recipe and you look at the ingredients, it's not actually a high protein food. It's not a high protein recipe.
Oh, and you wouldn't know that unless you had the knowledge already to know.
Yeah, kind of. Or like in some cases, it might be a good recipe, but it also might be like a high calorie, high fat recipe and not, you know what I mean? So sometimes I'm like, come on, like are you looking at the ingredients here? Because if you looked at the ingredients, you would know.
I think, you know, I've noticed that too with a couple of recipes that I've clicked on, and I've stopped actually clicking on recipes if they come up on Facebook because I've started to realize it's almost just a kind of clickbait. Like the actual recipe I'm like, this is not what you're saying. This is not going to be a delicious lemon cake. This is like.
Yes. Or the recipe is there and there's these the picture is there and there's these amazing things, but then there's no recipe that actually goes with it. That's probably the most frustrating thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like they're just collecting clicks or something.
Yeah. It's weird.
I don't love that development in like social exchange.
Right. Right. Like you've got to really be thinking strategically about it. So.
Hey, so you said your girls are on spring break and they found an old Nintendo Wii machine. Tell us more about what they're playing.
Yeah, so the rule is when mom's on the phone with Tina, or if I'm in a virtual call and working, you cannot use a device that requires Wi-Fi, right? Because we don't want to priorities. Tina gets the priority. And so I was like, you can't be streaming something on TV. We can't have the Alexas playing. Like, let's keep low key. So they're like, can we play Super Mario? So over the weekend, they hooked up our old Wii. And by old, I mean, it's probably at least 10 years old. It might even be 12 or 15 years old. Hooked it up and we played Super Mario Brothers this weekend.
I love Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, it's super fun. It's a little grainy, partially probably because it's like on a giant TV, right? And they were playing and they were like, Mom, will you come down and play? And I'm like, yep, I'll come down and play. And they're new to it. So they're struggling a bit and they don't know all those things. Now, I didn't play a lot. I didn't grow up with video games in my house, but we did get to play at friends' house and stuff. So they didn't know like you can go down the tube and like get extra coins or, some of the different things like breaking bricks gets you coins sometimes and all those things. They're like, why are you breaking all those bricks? And I'm like, well, as you add coins up, you get big coins and then you get lives. And so they were wowed by my mediocre video game skills.
That's fantastic. So you didn't grow up playing. So how did you finally get introduced to it?
I think we just played, you played at friends' houses and different things. And when Grace was younger, we would play Super Mario on the Wii. And Doug grew up playing video games with his buddies, so like we both played. It's just kind of not something that's in our routine now. So yeah, when they were stuck on the first level and I came down and I was like on level 3 and I hadn't died yet, they were like, this is unbelievable.
And is it a version where it's like one player at a time, or are there multiple players running the course at the same time?
We just so some of the controllers that we have aren't working. So we just play until you die is our rule. And then you pass the remote and then the next person gets to try. So we just take turns.
So, okay, the age I grew up in was an Atari, right? So that's a totally different like throwback system. And it wasn't until I was a teen that my youngest brother got one of the first like Super Nintendos or whatever they were. And
Sure.
he was playing Mario, but that was back in the day where, yeah, it was only one player. And so there was the rule. Yeah, you play until you die. I had no skills and he had all the skills. So he'd be playing, leveling up, playing, leveling up. I'd be sitting there watching, right? I'd finally get a chance and I would literally die. Like I would like run and I'd fall off the cliff or something, right? And so like I never had a chance to like refine my skills. It wasn't until Teak came around and his uncle taught him how to play that then he taught me how to play. But by that time, it was multiple players that you could do. So you didn't have to sit and wait. And so I was able to kind of build up some skills following behind him on the map.
Yeah. I think initially they were playing together, but then one of the remotes took a crap and like no batteries, nothing was going to get it working again. So we've got to see what our options are, but it's fun.
I know it's kind of nice if they're both starting off at the same skill level.
Yeah.
That trading
I was
off should
joking
work.
my player fingers hurt on Saturday night. I was joking because I was like pressing so hard that like I was like, I think my thumbs pointer fingers are going to be sore tomorrow if I'm playing.
So I remember when we first got a Nintendo Wii, like Teak must have been 5, something like that, right? We literally had no idea how to play it, how to operate. And it was, you had the controller and then there was that little extra like dongle that attached to it. I remember we were playing a Lego Star Wars video game. He had one part of the controller and I had the other part. And literally we were both manipulating it because we were like, we don't know what we're doing.
You're playing as a team.
Exactly. Together we were a genius, right?
I was going to say, I can remember playing, you had to hold the controller in one hand and then, hold like the dongle probably in the other hand for like boxing and things like that. You had to have both pieces.
Yeah.
That is so fun. Yeah, we'll see how far we get this weekend.
Okay, Barb says, I was never play video games at home, but once I started hanging out in the local water hole, my game was the one and only Frogger.
I can remember playing Pong on Atari when we were really little, where you'd have like the sliding bar and the ball would bounce and you'd have to like, do you know what I mean? So
Absolutely. I grew
yeah.
up on that game. I mean, that was like the height of like
Yeah.
when I think of how far games have come, actually
Yeah.
the very first games I played on a computer were all just text based. So there were no images, and it would be
Hmm.
like you are in a cavern. You can hear water dripping in the distance. There's the sound of footsteps. What do you do? Or like, and you'd have to like type in like look for a sword or find an egg. It was I cannot believe where video games are these days based on that.
Yeah. I mean, just think about that. That is reminiscent to me of Oregon Trail and like picking like one, kill the snake, two, run away from the snake, three, and then you had to pick your option and then it would tell you, what happened. Oh, I'm sorry, you've died from a venomous snake bite, or oh, you got away, you get to keep going, or whatever it is, you died from dysentery.
Interesting. Well, so you were showing like both hands to hold a controller, right? And as a family, we used to play Mario Kart. It was a great way for all three of us to do something together. And I like to play it to like unwind. I find it to be kind of zen. But after the accident, right, you need two hands. And this hand just doesn't have dexterity. It doesn't respond quickly. It can't push buttons. So I thought, dang it, video games are done, right? Like I can never play Mario Kart. But Teak, he figured out how to program it so all of the controls, like the acceleration, the drifting, the specials release, all of it is done with your right hand. So
That's
now
awesome.
I can play Mario Kart again, and I'm back.
Yeah, baby. She's back. I love that. I love that for you. I think that's so cool. Kudos to Teak for, being curious and trying to figure that out.
Yeah, I love that he sort of saw that need and figured it out.
Yeah.
And he's hard to beat, right? Like he taught me everything I know about video games. And um, after he made the switch, I beat him twice, not on a whole race, but like into just two little maps, right? But that shocked him so bad, he doesn't want to play with me anymore.
Come on, Teak, play with your mama. You must have just a very powerful right hand. You're just
The things I can do with this hand, yeah.
yeah, that's awesome.
Hey, I said yes to another new experience. Have you ever done cardio boxing? Nope, sorry, cardio drumming. I guess I'm thinking ahead to the next.
I think I have done this as part of like a exercise morning at the Y in the past. But not in the last probably 6 or 8 years.
Okay.
Tell me
I mean,
more about it.
I was thinking about it. Like I'm in the chair, right? And I'm desperate always to try to get more cardio, to get my heart rate up, to like, break a sweat doing things. And I've heard about people doing cardio drumming. I've seen it. I've like watched videos and I was like, you know what? I think how it works is that you take a big exercise ball and it sits in this bucket. So it's like firmly there. And then you've got sticks. The teacher plays some music, shows you some moves, and you kind of like groove along to it. And I think because of the setup, right, I could do it seated and or try out doing one or two standing because I've got that big ball
Right.
to lean on for support. And so my mom and I went to our first class yesterday. It was fun. It worked. I totally broke a sweat.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you end up sitting or standing? What felt most comfortable?
For most of them, I sat, but I was able to do three songs. Like I think it was like the second song I stood up for, and then I was exhausted, so I sat again. And then a couple more songs in, I
Yeah.
stood again. It was a little better. And then for like the last song, I stood too. And so I'm just trying to like figure out, the challenge is trying to trust the prosthetic leg. And so I feel like by having something else to focus on, I'm not hyper focused on it and hopefully can relax into it, and try to like move my hips and stuff. And it's a challenge, but it worked. I loved it.
That is so fun that you got to try something new. That it totally worked. You can totally adapt it. You also have a stick in your left hand. I'm showing my right hand. A stick in your left hand. Can you get your hand to grip that?
So I was able to do, so I did like a fist grip. Oh, hold on. Hold on. See how slow
Right,
everything is? So
you got
I
it.
did a fist grip around the stick and then I turned it off so that no matter what I did or what action I did, my hand wouldn't like release. Because that's totally
Ooh,
exactly stick goes flying. Um, and so, the wrist doesn't have any flexibility, so it's not perfect. It's not like the left stick. Like, I'm definitely not the drummer from Def Leppard, right? Like, that's never going to happen. Um, so it's more, this has weight, and I figure that even just moving it in that rhythm is helping these muscles, even if this stick isn't
absolutely.
doing what it's supposed to do. But I can still then like do the clicking of the sticks and things like that.
That's so cool. I love
Yeah.
that for you. Way to go try something new.
Thank you. And I did it at the senior center, but I know some of the ladies were mentioning, yeah, they have done it before at the YMCA, and so there might be other places where it's available.
Absolutely. That is so fun. Hey, speaking of new things, I texted you yesterday about another park that has a track chair,
I love that.
right?
I
So this
love
one,
that.
I don't even think that's a state park. I think that's a county park. I
I
didn't
think you
look
might be
though.
right. I think because I think it's like a preserve or like a conservation area or something. It almost made me think of like Woodland Dunes. And I actually sent
Yes.
it to Jason. I'm like, Jason, maybe Woodland Dunes could think about getting a track chair, have some kind of fundraiser.
Uh,
Because
so
the director at Woodland Dunes confirmed the wooden paths out there would support a track chair.
absolutely, without a doubt. And I mean, those track chairs are so capable. So, the terrain, there is some uneven terrain out there, but like that chair can totally handle that.
Yeah, when we went to Peninsula State Park, that was not a paved or boardwalk trail by any means. There were routes we
Right.
were going over, and
Yeah. Yeah, and up and down and all the things. So
yeah, I was really excited about that. And
the
I looked at
season is upon us.
the link
Sorry,
that you sent. I feel like they've got it well managed, right? There was already a calendar that showed the dates that it was available. You could make a reservation right from the app. You didn't have to call
yeah.
anyone.
Yeah, isn't that so cool? It's like they must do this frequently. So a shout out to my friend Brooke. She's the one that posted it. Her husband, they used the track chair there, and I saw it on Facebook, and I was like, yes. Now I
Brooke,
promise.
thank you for sharing, right? Like that just is such an example of how sharing information benefits others. Because, yeah, we would have never known about that. I've never heard about that park before or their chair.
Right. Well, and we've talked about the state parks having them, but you don't know there's all these other little private pockets or county parks or other places that have them. So I just was like, ooh, I've got to grab this because this is fairly probably within an hour of
Yeah,
us.
West Bend is so reasonable, right?
So I was pretty excited to see that.
Yeah, stay tuned. Kristen and I are going to go and we'll get like pictures and videos so we can share it with you. And because it's amazing, it's available at no cost. That
Yes.
is so beautiful.
Yep. Yeah. So kudos to that park system because they, like you said, they make it easy to reserve. It doesn't cost anything and it looks like beautiful trails. So yes, more to come soon. It's
More to
spring.
come. Yes, and viewers, if you are so inclined that you want to see something like this happen at Woodland Dunes, let's make it happen.
Yes, I love that. Hey, speaking of spring, I sent you a picture. I don't know if you have this.
I think I do. I think I do.
My daffodils are starting to peak up. Is
This makes
anybody
me
else?
so happy.
Right? Like this was, I think, last weekend. We took the dogs for a walk. There was very much, I saw them peaking even as summer, like after the snow was still here, but melting. But they are definitely like, it's time.
I love it. And you've sent me this yesterday or the day before. I bet you they're even higher than that now.
I think so. I think so. And it does feel, I mean, I know it's April 1st today. It does feel a little bit early. I feel like we've been later into April. I should look because I feel like I take that same picture every year. So I should compare what date I take that picture on. But
Yeah, and just, for the record, this is not an April Fool's prank in any way.
no,
Literally, the daffodils are starting to come up in Manitowoc. Huzzah.
it is the real deal. And we live maybe a mile inland from Lake Michigan. So are sometimes later because of that. So people that are farther west, like some of the days I picked the girls up from school, it was 60, in, let's say, Clark Mills and Valders and, west of town. So
Viewers, are you starting to see your daffodils come up or anything else starting to bud out? Let us know. I know a friend in Japan has been sending me pictures and videos of all the cherry trees in blossom, which is incredibly beautiful. And she's like,
mm,
so do you have cherry trees there? I'm like, oh, we have a few and they won't bloom until May.
yeah, I was going to say we have 2 in our yard, 2 or 3. And yeah, it'll be a little bit yet. It'll be a little bit until they pop.
And I think it's going to be just a little bit longer until the tulips start to come up. But my mom brought us some potted tulips, and Jason, bless his heart, let me do a fun little photo shoot with him getting goofy in the tulips.
I love that he has a short sleeve shirt on with his vest. He's like rocking the old Jason versus the new Jason.
He's cool. I love him.
Super cool. He's super cool. What is on the menu for Easter?
So we are going to my mom's house. My cow builders, they put a ramp in front of her house so I could access it. And so I said, all right, you guys have been doing all of the traveling to come over here, which I greatly appreciate. I said, let's see if this is like, an Easter miracle or something, if I can come to your house.
I mean, you were staying in their house and were in a wheelchair before. That's obviously a little bit different than maybe the chair that you're in now, especially if you take a power chair. But
Oh, the difference is the year of their house, their bathroom door is too narrow. So I
yeah,
have to use even the walker won't fit in. I have to be able to get to the bathroom via a cane.
yeah.
So if the leg's not work, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of factors that have to come in, or I have to keep it a very short visit. So I've
So
gone over there, but like, gotta go.
you're going to be rocking the leg then. That's what I heard.
That's the goal. That is the
That's
goal.
awesome. Yeah, your parents' hallways are a little bit more narrow. They're not, it's just not built for that, wider.
Yeah.
Wider.
In 1970, they were not thinking about devices or mobility or any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Longevity in the home. Well, that'll be a nice treat. So is your mom cooking everything?
Jason is going to make a 7-layer salad and scalloped potatoes.
Yum.
I think a lemon meringue pie might be on the menu if my dad doesn't get too close to it.
I was going to say, will he be allowed to have any? Will he be trusted to while that's happening?
How about you? Are you hosting Easter?
Yeah, we're just going to have my mom and sister out, and the girls really love this. It's like biscuits and ground sausage and eggs, and then you do like biscuit gravy over the top, like white gravy, pork. I don't know why I'm having a mental problem with that today. So they were like, if we're going to kind of do brunchy lunch, we want that egg bake. So I'm like, yeah. So we'll do ham. I think we're going to do cheesy hash browns. Fruit. My mom is making pistachio fluff. Do you know of this? You probably wouldn't eat that because it's
I
creamy and
wouldn't.
in it. I am very excited because I think it's so refreshing and it's such a beautiful color. For Easter, we'll have rolls. We're gonna roast some veggies. A little bit of both. A little bit of lunch, a little bit of brunch.
I know I'm in the minority here, but a fluff is just not something I can do. Which
Especially
it's a cute word,
right?
but
I'm so excited.
that's awesome. Hey, okay, tell me, you sent me this picture too, and I don't know how to decipher what I'm looking at.
Well, first of all, I'm not speeding. That's the first thing. My car turned over to 130,000 miles this week.
Wow.
Do you see the mileage? And I was just thinking about it was at, like 129, 966 that morning. I was talking with the girls and like, it's going to switch over. It felt for some reason like a big milestone in my car.
It is. I mean, it is, when it hits that sort of even, hugely rounded number, it does feel momentous.
Yeah. and it just like that looks cool to have all those zeros on on the screen. And it also makes me think about, so I've had my car, it'll be 6 years in June, like all those miles and all the places I've gone with it.
Yeah. All the places you'll go.
Yes. I mean, we've been, I don't even know how many times, like, we've been to Ohio to visit Doug's family and up north and camping. And I have visited so many clients in so many places with my car. It's kind of cool to think about it like that.
You almost would expect it to have more than 130,000 miles when you put it that way, right?
I know, but I mean, it adds up fast. I was thinking that day, like, oh, maybe I'll pass it this day. And then, like, by that evening, I was at 130,000, like 66, all in the same day. And it was like, man, I put 60 miles on already. But, those dang kids, they're running around everywhere right now. Spring sports are upon us. So we're busy. But I mean, what a gift to be able to go and do all those things, right?
Yeah, right? Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so then can I ask you about this?
Yeah. That's cool. Okay, so, last week, Wednesday, I think after we had the show, I drove down to Beloit to, do an event for a client on Thursday morning, and I stayed at this beautiful hotel called the Hotel Goodwin, which if you've never been down there, go check it out. It's beautiful. There's a lot to do kind of in downtown Beloit, actually more than I thought. And
Oh,
when I walked into the room, it's a kind of a very moody hotel. They had a record player in there, and
and
this Madonna album was one of the albums that was in my room.
what? That's
Yeah,
like a cool amenity to have a record player?
is it? Like, there was a Bob Seger album in there, and trying to think what else. So, like, it took me a minute to be like, "How do I use a record player again?" Because I used when I was a kid, my dad got me this old 45 player, and so I played it and played it and played it and played it. But yeah, isn't that kind of a cool vibey thing to have in a hotel room?
It is. Did they ask you, like, music preferences or anything when you made the reservation and checked in?
So that would be super cool. Nope, there was just like 6 or 8 albums. You can kind of see them on the bottom in the rack, just a variety of things. And there was like 4 tracks on each side of the record.
How cool is that? And then is
Yeah.
there a bottle of wine behind there? Was that part of the room too?
Well, that was on the snack bar, but, when you take stuff off of that in the hotel, it costs like $97, so I didn't touch
Oh,
that stuff.
gotcha, gotcha. So did you listen to the album? Was it
I didn't listen to this one. I did listen to the Bob Seger one while I was getting ready for bed, but then I, like, read, and I don't get to watch TV by myself that much, so I actually just watch TV because, there's, like, something enjoyable about having the remote all to yourself.
Oh, oops, sorry about that.
Um,
Yeah, so what did you choose to watch? Like, what path do you go down when it's totally your choice? I wouldn't even
I
know.
think I think I had the cooking channel on, but, like, I'm
Mm.
also a sucker for, like, Dateline or 2020s, murder mystery stuff.
Oh, speaking of the cooking channel, you shared the video of that adorable little guy doing the cooking. Oh my gosh, he's incredible.
It's Cooking with Carter, and he's got the best little British accent I've ever heard. He says the cutest things, and he makes all different kinds of things, and I love watching him. It's very funny and very entertaining. The girls are always like, "Oh, here we go again," when I turn it on, but it's so cute. And one of the things that I've noticed a lot in, recipes is they don't use refined sugar. He uses honey a lot in recipes, and I've really thought a lot about just the natural state of honey and the health benefits of honey, and, if that's probably a good swap
Yeah. Oh, from the mouth of babes.
from the mouth of babes. I actually think it's just from the mouth of Europeans who know how to eat well, much better than we eat in the United States.
Right. And he's how old did you say he is? 4, 5?
Oh, I don't think he's even that old. I think he might be 3 or 4.
I mean, he just carries on this whole conversation as he's going, so it's definitely not scripted.
No, and he also knows how to use kitchen appliances by himself. Like, he knows how to put the blender in and get it started. He knows how to use the air fryer. He knows how to use, he made homemade ice cream one day and was loading it. Some things are, like, heavy or awkward for him. He knows how to use kitchen knives. He doesn't handle things that are hot. His dad helps him with that, but, like, there's a good there's a good lesson in if a 3 or 4-year-old can be cooking and knowing how to use kitchen appliances, we should be teaching our kids to do that. And my girls are very good with it, but I was like, "Ooh, even my girls could learn a few things from Carter."
Yeah, wow. Um, Kayla said maple syrup is a good swap for sugar too. Excellent tip.
That is a great point, Kayla, and she knows because her hubby is collecting all the sap right now.
Oh, they're collecting their own? Like they have a sugar bush?
They do. They sure do. Yep, and it's
That's
been
cool.
running. So,
Oh, that is so cool.
yeah.
Wow. Well, what's running is the time, and this is no April Fools. Our time is up.
That went really fast. Cindy, thank you for dropping the link in there. We appreciate you. That is great. I will throw the link in. I sent Tina a video of Carter doing this like edible slime stuff from Japan, because it was Japan and it was slime and he's cute. But I'll throw that in the links also just so you can see what we're talking about because he's just very entertaining.
And if you think about it, put the link for that park that has the track chair in West Bend.
Yes, I will do that also.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you for this great conversation. Thank you so much for joining us this morning for this episode of Coffee with Kristin and Tina. Kristin Odell, I'm Tina Prigge. We'll see y'all next time.
Happy Easter, everybody.